And hello there, boys and girls, and all of those in between. My name is Maliena Bitchcock, and welcome to Bitch Talk with Bitchcock, my very own talk show where I interview some of the best drag performers from all over. I am so freaking excited and privileged to have the one and only Crucifix Magnetic, the one and only drag king from Washington.
Hi.
Hey, handsome, how you doing?
Oh, I'm surviving.
Oh, really? Are you surviving the quarantine over there?
Girl, it's rough, but I'm still here.
Oh my gosh. Good thing I like it rough.
Oh, don't we all?
Right? Oh my gosh, it's some crazy times going on. I hope you got some food and a supply of toilet paper because, bitch, that thing is more valuable than money these days.
Girl, I know. Like, I even came up with an idea. I'm like, you know what? Let's have a drag show and auction off toilet paper.
Oh my god. That is the best idea ever. And we can get Pandora to do her poop routine. Yes. So I am so excited that you're here on Bitch Talk. I'm trying to get as many drag kings to get on the show to really get a different side of drag and that a little bit more of that exposure. I'm really kind of giving you my drill sergeant Bitchcock look today. Do you like it?
Yes, I love the look. Like, you ready to take on Miss Corona?
Bitch, that she has nothing on me. I'm ready to kick her right out of my life. She cost me too many gigs. Well, Crucifix, let's just dive into this interview. We have so much to talk about, and I know my guests are just ready to get to know you. I think we should always start from the beginning. And when did you actually start performing, hon?
So I started performing when I was 19 years old. And at that time, I ended up doing it for a little while and then retired. And then in June of 2018, I came out of retirement and was like, I'm ready to. And it was just a very rough transition because it was like I had to relearn everything. But now that I've actually got it down, I'm really more confident in not really caring what people think.
I love that. And I'm so happy that you at least came out of retirement. And, you're such a fun person to work with. Why don't you actually tell me what made you want to become a drag king?
So I did drag, like I did full on feminine drag. And I just didn't, for me, just did not sit, like I didn't feel like I was comfortable with it. And I was like, oh, well, this is not really where I fit. It's like, it was fun, but just not where I fit. And then I saw a few drag king performers and I was like, that seems more my style, more my speed. And I just started doing it and it was a lot of fun. And it's like something that actually I love and I'm passionate about.
Oh my God, I really do love that. And that's the thing about art and drag is it can really bring a passion that you didn't really know you had in the first place. And it's really nice because it gives you so many outlets to really express yourself and to really show your art.
Absolutely. And my art is like something that makes me happy. It gives me a chance to be creative and just have fun and put on a show.
Absolutely. And that's the biggest, importantest thing, the most important thing about being a drag performer is being able to entertain and put on a show and entertain the people who pay to come and get us, or come and see us, I should say. Come up to my room and fuck me in the ass sometime.
Absolutely.
But that's the thing. And people, a lot of the kids these days don't realize we're actually hired entertainers. We're not just men in funny outfits or women in outrageous clothes. It's about actually entertaining and having fun. And that's one thing I like about you, Crucifix, is it seems like every time you come on stage, you have just such a performance planned for us, and you give us some of like the best stuff.
Like I really put a lot, like I put a lot into what I perform and when I'm on stage. It's like when I, like once my name gets called to come on stage, it's like I switch, like a light switch. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to do it. And some of those numbers that I do, I work on like weeks to months, like to come up with the concept and make sure I have everything down what I want to do. And so I don't wing it. Sometimes I wing it, but normally doesn't go over as well.
Well, sometimes there's nothing wrong with winging it. And one thing I've learned as a drag performer, kind of listening to the music and let it flow through you is sometimes very, very entertaining for the audience. But, you know, we should all be rehearsing. We should all be doing our damn best to kind of know, well, for one, know your goddamn lyrics. Queens, kings, everyone who gets on stage and performs drag, know your lyrics. And
Absolutely. Oh, your words.
yeah. And, you know, otherwise also get some basic choreo and some basic moves planned out, even if it's just, I'm going to walk this corner right here, I'm going to do a little flourish, or I'm going to walk over here and do a freaking drop on the ground and thrust at the audience. I mean, those little things that you plan just really helps you map out your performance and makes it look so much smoother.
Absolutely. And even like just like putting up like your phone and or a tablet, your laptop, and don't be in full drag, but like, you know, just practice in front of the camera and then you can go back and see like, okay, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. Oh, that don't work right there. So it just gives you a little bit more confidence level of like, you know what you're gonna do.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Mr. Crucifix, why don't you actually tell us a little bit about the character that is Crucifix Magnetic? Yeah.
Oh, so Crucifix Magnetic is like very, very flirtatious, very sexual, likes to show a lot of skin. I mean, I'm not showing skin now, but sometimes I'm just wearing my leather jacket with no shirt on.
Oh,
And
stop it. Yes. Yeah.
it's, and he's just like a little bit out there, a little bit weird. It's like, he is like, he'll flirt with anybody. If you tell him he's pretty, he don't care if you're a man or a woman, gay or straight, he will flirt with you.
Ooh, so you're saying Crucifix, the character at least, is a little bisexual.
A little bit. Like, just a smidge.
Just to, you know, just a little tiptoe in the, you know, the daisies.
Oh, absolutely. Just a smidge.
But I love that. And, you know, that's one thing I've noticed about Crucifix is he's very confident and that he is definitely, like, very ready to make us all want a piece of him. Mm.
No, absolutely. Because that's my goal is like, leave you wanting more.
Okay, absolutely. Mm. So, how did you actually choose the name Crucifix Magnetic?
So when I first decided that I was going to perform, I was trying to figure out a good name. And at first, like some of the choices I made were like, not so good. But I was hanging out with Timmy LaVicious and came in with a few ideas. And one of my ideas was Mr. Johnson, because like, you know, my last name is Johnson in my everyday life. And he just looked at me and was like, absolutely not. And and then he kind of just like, well, you wear crosses all the time. Every time we see you, you always have a cross on. And was like, why don't you go with the name Crucifix? And it was just like, why didn't I think of that? Like, just did not pop into my head, and it just kind of stuck. And then it was like, okay, I don't just want it just to be Crucifix. So I came up with Magnetic because some of my friends, when they see me dance, they're like, I'm an Energizer bunny. Like I have like no stop. So I was like, okay, well, magnetic charge. Okay, so I'll just stick with magnetic. And it stuck. And when I decided to come out of retirement, it was like, I know people who still know me as Crucifix. So it's like, we're gonna stick with it.
Okay, I love that. And so you're saying your original name you almost picked was Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay, like that's interesting. It's kind of giving me a Mr. Rogers like feel for that name. So if you would have picked that name, I would have expected you in old man sweaters and singing "Welcome to my neighborhood."
Absolutely, because I even thought of that. I'm just like, when I was thinking about coming out of retirement, I was just like, should I go back with Mr. Johnson? That sounds like an old man. No, that's not what I am. It's not what I do.
You could always take it an extra step and go by Mr. Johnson because you're
Well,
or
that was my original idea. Was like, oh, Mr. Johnson.
yes. Or you could just say you're Crucifix and then he's Mr. Johnson. Well,
Really good.
handsome, you know what? What is Crucifix always best known for?
Well, my drag mother would say it would be my tricks and me almost giving her a heart attack every time I do them. But known for like actually putting on a show and making people wonder, is that a man or is that a woman? And just turning the party and having a good time doing it.
Yes, and for full disclosure, if you don't mind me asking, my love, is you are a drag king, but you were also born a cis male, correct?
That is correct.
So I can guess that probably causes confusion, especially for people in the audience who are like, so are you a man or are you a woman? Because a lot of the audience really has a narrow perspective of what drag is. They don't really realize it's this larger umbrella that you can almost do anything with.
Absolutely. And some people, when they do see me in drag, when they see Crucifix, they'll ask me like, oh, are you a man or are you a woman? And it like, I tend to have a little bit of fun with it. It's just like I kind of look at them and just go, I'm whatever you want me to be.
That's exactly what I tell the guys when they are all like, I don't know if you're a boy or girl. What are you? I'm like, bitch, I'm whatever your fantasy wants.
See, right there. It's like people just, and some people take it and they run with it and they're like, oh, okay. And they'll call me girl or whatever. And it's just like, and I'm totally fine with it. But it's like, then you run into the people that are like, I really want to know. And then I'll tell them and they're just like, what? Like completely dumbfounded.
No, and I think that's great, Crucifix. I mean, there are, especially this day and age in 2020, there's such a large spectrum that we have in the drag community. We have the AFAB girls, we have trans performers, we have drag queens, and I think we are at this point at the same level, especially in local shows, because bitch, you can fucking dance circles around me at a local show. I'm an old bitch. I can't dance like you.
Well, it's like, girl, lots of practice. Lots of practice and I'm a very observant person. So if I see people dancing, I usually am like a people watcher. So I'm like, I'll watch and be like, did I do that? And then it's like, we'll work on it. And then it's like, okay, I actually can do that.
Okay, so that makes sense. Definitely people watching and kind of seeing what others do. But where else do you kind of get the moves and the dance things that you do on stage? Do you watch TV? Do you just get in your underwear in your front room and listen to music and just let it flow through you?
Well, I will watch dancing shows, like dancing competition shows, like So You Think You Can Dance, and I will also even look on YouTube. One of the people I follow on YouTube and even on Instagram, Giannis Marshall, him dancing in heels. And it was like, it kind of showed me, I'm like, I can be a man and still be a male performer and be a drag king and still wear heels.
Absolutely. And I love that. And sometimes one thing I would notice with you, Mr. Crucifix, is that you sometimes play with gender where you're almost gender neutral.
I do. And I really have a lot of fun with that because it's like, I'm a drag king, but it's like, I don't have to be fit into a box.
Right.
I can play with gender and be like, you know what? I'm a man and I can cinch myself into a corset.
And that's the thing, crucifix, is being a man isn't one thing. You don't have to be hyper masculine to be a male impersonator. And being a male impersonator, I think it's wonderful because there's such a spectrum of male that you're kind of focusing on this more feminine, confident with himself performer, which is, I love that because, as a boy, I'm fairly feminine myself, and a lot of people have told me almost half my life of like, oh, you shouldn't be feminine, or they put you in a box when they realize that you're a drag queen and that you have kind of a high-pitched voice, and it's like, I have my masculine moments too.
Oh, absolutely. Like even in my regular everyday life, I've been told I am not masculine enough. I am too feminine. I'm not feminine enough. I'm too masculine. I get all of it. And it's like, or even just the narrow, like, oh, you do drag, you're a bottom. And it's like,
Oh my God, you just said something though, bitch, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that is something that I hear so much. You do drag, you must be a bottom. Bitch, no, this is art.
it's like when people tell me that, I literally just like, last time I checked, you don't know me outside of this. So
Absolutely. And I'll just say, especially back in my heyday when Maliena used to hook up at shows, I mean, I didn't always bottom, and especially when I was hooking up and I still looked like a woman, I sometimes still topped as a woman.
see, it's like you can't always pinch your toe and put people into a box because you don't know.
It's true. Now, Crucifix, tell me where you actually started performing, maybe some of the first bars that you performed at.
Ooh, gosh, we're gonna go back in time for this.
You're back to back time. Ooh, that was bad.
When I first started, I started at the Escape nightclub in downtown Portland. That was like, still have the best memories of performing there. Like was my home away from home, and like I felt welcome there. It was like where I like got my start. And then when I retired and came out of retirement, I went and did a audition casting spot just because I wanted to see if I wanted to get back and wanted to make a comeback. It was at Mississippi Pizza Pub down in Portland for the show Snatched. And girl, when I did that show, I looked busted.
Busted?
Oh, absolutely. I could not paint my face, so I had a friend who was like, oh, I can do it, and painted my face. I thought I looked gorgeous. I was like, I look great. Some of the other queens saw me and they're like, who did your makeup? And I'm like, oh, my friend did. Like, that is not a friend for you. That was a friend.
Oh, but honey, to be honest, I mean, we all start a little busted when we first start drag. And I mean, I remember my first time kind of getting ready for a professional show. I was auditioning for a show, and I did the thing that I knew to do right then, is let my two girlfriends put me in makeup. And of course, them putting me in makeup is not like what you see now. It was definitely like a little shadow on the eye, a light liner, a little lip gloss, a little mascara, a little blush. And I thought I looked pretty back then. I would not think that now looking at those pictures.
Oh, I even saw pictures from when I first like performed at the Escape, like 19. I didn't even wear real makeup. I wore the Halloween grease makeup, which after your first number is like down to here. And I'm like, I thought I looked great. And I was like, look at that now. Ooh.
Well, I mean, we've all been there. I've done worse. I could actually beat the grease makeup. I used to wear I don't know if I want to admit this on cameras, but I will. I used to wear Dollar Tree makeup because it was all I could afford back when I first started. And nothing looked worse than trying to wear Dollar Tree foundation.
Girl, I get it. Because that's what I was like, I'm going to try to find my shade. I'm going to go to the drugstore. Ooh, I'm going to go to Dollar Tree. No, no, ma'am. No, 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 ma'am.
No, no. Everyone watching, just stay away from the cheap makeup. Ah! Well, crucifix. With all that craziness put aside, why don't you tell me the craziest thing you've ever done on stage?
Ooh. So, craziest thing I've done on stage. That would have to have been, I had to do a drag suicide because the host of the show, and this was at the Escape, and I could talk about this. She put down my wrong track. And so I was supposed to be doing Toxic by Britney Spears. And next thing you know, Disturbia, she calls my name, and then Disturbia by Rihanna comes on, and I'm just like, that's the wrong track. She told me to just go. I'm wearing the wrong outfit for it. So I'm doing my whole number. I'm like just winging it. I was doing everything I can. And then it was like getting to the end of the show, like the end of my number. And I decided I'm going to do my like show ending trick. And that was me jumping from standing into the splits. And
No.
I was wearing the wrong pants, mind you.
Wait.
I was wearing the wrong pants. And I also was wearing, they were really skinny, really super tight. I was not wearing underwear. And so when I did the splits, I ripped them right down the middle from stem to stern. And that was like the end of it. And I literally like grabbed my, you know what, my bits, and like scurried off into the dressing room and was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh, honey. Oh, I mean, I bet you got some dates after that performance.
It's like, you know, some people saw it, some people didn't see it. They saw my butt, and that was about it. So thank goodness. But everyone in that dressing room, I apologize.
Well, you know that, I mean, honey, that's crazy shit happens. And I mean, that's kind of like the nightmare of drag, but hey, at least you survived it, and there's nothing worse that can happen, right?
Nothing worse can happen. I'm like, I've already been there.
Yeah, okay. So, honey, we've talked about, you know, you being a performer and you doing some great dance moves and being this fabulous, just sex icon when you're on stage. But do you ever actually bring a little comedy to the stage?
I've been dabbling in comedy a little bit. Like I did a parody of Once Upon a Time, and it was like a Christmas themed, and I literally was like just talking about being a hoe, especially being a hoe for Santa. Like if they want to fuck, I want presents, and try to be funny with it. And it's kind of been working. It's kind of been just like, you know, I want to broaden my horizon. So it's like maybe dabble in some comedy, like maybe do something other than Crucifix as a character.
Well, I think you could still be Crucifix, but still bring a different element of drag to your performance. I told you, I think in the pre-interview, I would love to see you do something more like playing with the character from like Rocky Horror and actually playing the monster Rocky. But I could see you doing other stuff. Like I was actually talking to my partner outside of this, and I was telling one thing I'd like Crucifix to do is like a not necessarily hyper masculine, but like I would almost say like a workout routine where you're like in a tank top and shorts and you're kind of doing these masculine like movements, but it's like almost very sexual watching. And I could definitely see you do something like that and take it kind of a comedy turn. And there's ways to make that funny.
Oh, like that's actually really like that's a good idea. Like thought of a few characters that I could do, and like one of them is actually an old virgin is one character that I've come up with.
Oh.
And so it's like talking about like being abstinent, like don't wear condoms, don't have sex, just don't do it. And then it's kind of like goes on to where I'm literally like, just go out there and screw them all.
Well, that's my mentality. I love a little action. Well, I love that. And I love that you definitely are considering bringing more comedy to stage, because I love being a complete idiot when I'm on stage. There's nothing that's off limits for me. If you can make the audience laugh, that is my goal. Now, my dear, why don't you tell me a little bit of what a little bit we are to expect from your drag style. Now, I was saying to you a little earlier that you kind of remind me of a 1980s, 1990s, like glam rock star. Why don't you describe your drag style to us a little bit?
Well, like you said, like a little bit of the 80s, a little bit of the 90s. Like I grew up in the 90s. And so it's like I take little bits of that, and then it's like I've also kind of brought in a little bit more of like more modern, and just like try to blend them together. And so I'm not just like, oh, sometimes I give full 80s, and sometimes I'm giving more modern. And I'm kind of like that weird alien where I'm like, I'm going to bring them together, because who says that they have to be separate?
No, absolutely. You can definitely mash genres and styles. And I think that's one thing that makes you such an interesting performer, because, you go on stage and you have this very kind of, like I said, glam rock look. And then you go out there and kind of give a more like 90s performance where it's more grungy and more in your face and like very real. And I love that.
And it's like, and I like most of my outfits all come from Goodwill, Ross Dress for Less, all that. But it's like, I take something that's like, okay, that just looks normal, and I turn it into something else. Like whether it be like, I'm gonna cut it and just cut it up to where it's like I am showing a lot of skin.
And that's what you have to do, honey. Is, there's nothing wrong with shopping at Goodwill. I mean, I fucking think this is a secondhand outfit that I got. And as long as you know how to take that outfit, make it your own style, and kind of put your own twist of your personality into it, that's really how you can take something that costs $2 and make it look like $100 fucking bucks.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I have several things that I've done that to, and some of them have had to be retired because wear and tear. And then there's some things that people look and like, I literally got it somewhere, did a little work to it, and they're like, where did you get that? And I'm like, I literally got it from Goodwill, and I'm transformed it.
And I love that. And that shows a little creativity on your part and the ability to actually build and create and kind of alter. Now, with that said, do you have the skills to make or create your own outfits?
I do not know how to sew, and like it's something I want to learn, but I am a wizard with scissors. Give me a pair of scissors, hot glue, I got it.
Okay, I get it. Hey, Miss Craft Time. Oh, Mr. Craft Time.
Girl, it could be Miss or Mr. Craft Time, depending on the day.
Yes. Now, what work do you have to actually go through from being your everyday Joe human being to become crucifix magnetic? Do you ever have to use makeup to actually change your features?
I actually do. And sometimes I actually will accent them. Like I will contour the hell out of my jawline because I love my jawline. But then there's like parts where they need a little bit more extra love. So I will have to go through a little bit more time and really like hone in on them. And then by the end of it, it may be 4 or 5 hours, but I'll still look good.
Yes. Nothing wrong with that. Now, Crucifix, you are just so creative and we're learning so much about you. Now, have you ever actually gotten an idea of, like most drag kings, they glue on facial hair, they either draw on facial hair. Have you ever attempted to dabble with putting a little of that on you or even try to grow some yourself?
So I do grow facial hair, but my facial hair grows in super weird. Like it grows in super thick, like on my chin, under my neck, and then like my mustache. But from like sides of my face, baby hairs. Like it's like so sparse. So I've been dabbling with like keeping my facial hair and just like accenting it. I just haven't quite got it down yet. Because one minute it'll be like, oh, this looks so good. And then the next, where did we fall off this train track? Like this now looks like I literally just took paint and just bleh.
Oh, sometimes that happens. And, we have our good makeup days and we have our bad makeup days. And some days we look fierce and everything is sharp and pretty. And others, it looks like a child painted us with finger paints.
Absolutely. And you know what? I will admit this. I decided that I was gonna go live on Facebook, play with makeup, do a little makeup challenge of my own, play with colors I don't normally do. Facebook crashed, so I was like, okay, well, I'm just still gonna do it. Well, one eye looked good. We were already on a bad start. One eye looked good with the liner. I messed up the other eye. And so when I tried to like get them to look like sisters, I fucked up again and I literally scribbled eyeliner all over my face. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I was just like, this was necessary and unnecessary. Necessary because I got a lot of frustration and everything out, but unnecessary because I wasted a shit ton of liner.
Yeah, I mean, girls this day and age, you don't want to be wasting makeup because you never know when you're going to be able to get more.
Especially with this quarantine and everything shut down. Where you gonna get it?
Yeah, I hear you. Now, Crucifix, do you want to play a little game? This is just a little tiny mini game. We'll play bigger games at the end. I'm going to ask you a question, and I just want you to say the first things that come to you, okay?
Okay.
Describe Crucifix Magnetic in 3 words.
Okay. Glamorous. Gosh. Glamorous. Weird. And sexual.
Ooh, I love it. What a great mixture. And I think that's great. Now, is there a personality change? You mentioned there is kind of a bit of a personality change, but why don't you talk a bit about it from you in real life from when you actually become Crucifix?
So there is a personality change. When I'm every day as Zach, I'm very quiet. I'm very more reserved, unless like I really have a good relationship with somebody. Then it's like they see the actual like who I am. But when I'm like in the bar just as Zach, I'm very quiet. I'm very keep to myself, very introverted. But when I'm Crucifix, I am more confident and like I don't care, and I will go up and talk to people that I don't even know, like never met them, nothing, and I will go up and talk to them and ask them how their night's going, and I feel powerful. Like this is my armor. Like nothing can touch me. Whereas like Zach is more, oh, don't look at me. I'm gonna sit in the corner of the bar and just, meh.
Well, I think I've said this in almost every interview, is drag is almost like an armor. You put it on and you are able to do things you never knew you have the ability to do. You're able to flirt with people. You're able to feel confident in your body. You're able to go out in front of hundreds of people and put on a show. And again, it's your armor. And then when you take that armor off and you kind of go back to real life, you kind of want to like hide away or kind of be a little quiet or just be kind of a different side of you.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, Zach is an everyday person. He looks just like a regular dude. But like where someone like you would not take the second look at, like literally sitting in the corner, like, oh, that person's just being quiet. But then when crucifix comes out, I have people looking at me and like doing a double take. And it's like, okay, I'm actually like being seen, where it's like I can be seen when I don't want to be invisible.
Okay, absolutely. And I get that. And it's a very powerful thing to be able to do. Now, crucifix, in the drag queen world, we tend to play with hyperfeminism and try to look really super pretty and super feminine. In drag king world, have you ever played with hypermasculinity?
I've played with it, like I've dabbled a little bit, and it's been like a little bit more challenging, and it's just like you have to contour a lot more, and it's like I've had a lot of fun doing it, but it's just like I'm not to that point where it's like I'm ready to be out fully, like full out blown masculine. I will do a fully masculine as crucifix, but it's a rare occasion that you'll see me walking around in just like my biker boots and being more masculine than how I am normally.
Would crucifix ever be willing to give us more of like a James Bond moment, like a black and white suit, and be like, yeah?
That's actually been in the works. I've even been working on a burlesque number where it's like to show that men can do it. You don't have to be like a woman to do it.
Oh, no, honey, that's called burlesque. And absolutely, men definitely belong in the burlesque world. Tell me a little bit how you're dabbling in burlesque.
I'm kind of like, oh, it's just like I've been watching a few things and just being like, okay, like I can do the moves and everything. It's just also I have to learn how to be able to take things off sexually, because there's things that like there's no way to make it like sexual or hot taking off a pair of jeans. Like, I'm sorry. It's not, some things it's like a little bit more difficult than others, and it's like it's a learning curve, but it's like something I want to bring, because it's like, you know what, it's something that's challenging me. It's giving me a chance to be also more creative.
Okay. Now, we mentioned a little bit about masculinity as a drag king. One thing I've always suffered, or at least struggled with as a gay man, is feeling masculine. As we've mentioned earlier in the interview, it's very easy for a gay man to get boxed as either feminine or, as you said, a bottom. Has doing drag as a drag king helped you kind of get a little more in touch with your masculinity in real life and helped you feel a little more confident?
It actually it really has, because it's like I was a choir kid. I was not really into sports. I did choir, I did photography, I did arty stuff. The closest to masculine that you would have ever seen me do was I was an FFA. That was it. And now it's like I feel way more confident and being like, you know, I can be this like powerful masculine man and still like look fabulous and gorgeous doing it, and not have anyone try to take me down with it and try to be like, oh, you need to be this or you need to be that. It's like, you know, if I'm not your cup of tea, that's fine. But I am still a very masculine, I'm a man, and I am doing this, and it makes me feel confident, it makes me happy.
Yes, I love that. And it's all about confidence and making yourself happy and just feeling good about yourself. And, you know, I really feel like drag has been very positive and negative for me at the same time. There's times where I definitely feel confident and feel good about myself, but there's others I don't feel confident and good about myself unless I'm in drag. So it's sometimes that finding that balance for real life also tends to be a struggle. And definitely something I mentioned to you in the pre-interview is it's hard for me to get in touch with my more masculine side sometimes, or what society thinks is masculine. So sometimes I'm kind of I guess I'm a little envious that you are able to do something with art that allows you to get in touch with more of the masculine side, because that's something I definitely struggle with.
And it's something I struggled with for a while, and because it was just like, oh, if you do drag, you're automatically, it doesn't matter if you're a drag king or a drag queen, doesn't matter, non-binary, anything. It was like, you are in this box. You are a bottom, you are a super feminine, you're not this, you're not that. And that was part of the reason why I quit. Like, I was tired of like having to explain everything to people. And it wasn't like, there was a few performers that didn't really care for me, but it was more so the audience, and like looking like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Like, you are this or you are that. And it made me not want to do it anymore. And when I made the choice to do this again, I was like, I don't care. Like, you don't like it, that's not my problem. I have people who love what I do. I love what I do, and that's all that matters. And it doesn't mean that I am less masculine or less feminine. I can do whatever I feel like.
Absolutely, babe. And again, in the long run, as long as you're having fun and not hurting anyone, that's all that matters. And no one should ever try to put you in a box, either if you're a drag queen, drag king. I don't care if you're a donkey or an alien from outer space. People need to learn to just accept one another and really not try to change them. Um, I think the one thing that is really beautiful is that as humans, we are so different from one another. And I think that's what really makes it interesting. And I love you, Crucifix. I think you're a great character. I think you're a wonderful human being, and you're fun to hang out with at shows. So I'm definitely happy you have this confidence where you know who you are as a character. And if anyone wants to change it, fuck them, right?
100%. I just literally tell them every time, like, oh, you don't like me? Oh, but have a good night.
Now let me give you a reason to not like me.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I love the shady side. Pull that back up. Oh my, yes. So, honey, you, I know, are known to make statements. Do you ever make statements during your performances?
I have done a few numbers where I'm literally making statements, and they may not be like in your face statements, but some are, some aren't. But even like a number that I'm doing, like I have a few mixes that I do that are like so subtle that some people don't even understand. And it's like I do a mix that's a Red Queen mix, and it was literally I discovered it, and I was like, I'm gotta do this because people try to take me down. Like, they will try to like put me down, dismiss me, all they want, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
And I don't let it get to me, and it's like, it will be so subtle. And some people are like, oh, that was such a great thing, and it's like, yeah, but if you listen to what it was meaning, you'll get it. And
absolutely.
Even with my outfits, sometimes like I wear a corset. They're like, oh, well, you're a boy, you can't do that. Who says?
There's nothing wrong with playing with sexuality or gender or kind of mixing the two when you are out in public. I wish we were in a day and age where it was more mainstream to kind of play with gender with your style, because it was actually society who told us women belong in dresses, men belong in pants, and this is how you should look here and this is how you should look there. There's no real rule to what you should be wearing. And I feel like if it's a hot day, and I don't care if you're a man or a woman, you want to wear a skirt, a nice breezy, something loose, do it. If that's part of your style and it helps you express something that's deep within yourself, even if it's not something that's politically something that is they say is all right for you to wear, just fucking wear it. Because if it makes you happy, that's what's important.
And that's absolutely true. And like I've even told people, like just audience members, like outside, like when I step out to have a smoke or to get some air before my next number, they'll look at me and be like, "You're a drag king, right?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, yes, I am." They're like, "But why are you wearing heels?" And I will not be shady or anything. I will educate them and be like, "Look, do you know way back in the 1800s, men wore heels, and it was a way of showing your social status. The higher the heel, the higher your status." And they're like, "Wow, did not know that." And it's
Okay.
like,
I didn't know that. I actually thought, and maybe I'm wrong, I actually thought that men used to wear heels as butchers to keep their feet out of the blood.
I'm sure that's probably it too. I didn't know that, but
So who knows? There's many reasons for men to wear heels, and it's not society's place to tell us if we should or shouldn't, right?
absolutely 150%.
Now, Crucifix, you have fantastic performing style. What process do you go through when you're picking your music for your performances?
Ooh, when it comes to my music, I tend to go with stuff that I can actually like I can relate. Not like I don't like, yeah, I'll do a couple like top 40, but I want to like I try to go with stuff that has not been heard in a while or way back, or gives some type of statement and like something that resonates with me. And like so I can feel it like through my whole body, through everything, and actually not have to be like, "Oh, I'm doing Ariana Grande or this or that." It's like I want to actually like give a show and give a full-on performance.
Absolutely. And that's what we're here to do. And I think that's great to do. Now, do you ever make any of your mixes?
I really want to learn how to make my mixes. Usually I find them, and then if I do like their mixes and I post it, I tend to like give them a shout out being like, "This is where the mix came from," because I don't want to steal it from somebody and take credit for some from another artist. So I tend to like, if someone takes a photo of me, I will give you photo credit. If I use a mix that you made, I will give you credit and be like, "I didn't make it, but here's the person that did make this."
I think that's really honorable of you. And to be honest with you, Crucifix, doing mixes is not the hardest thing. You just have to be able to have a proper program to do it and just sit down and dabble with it. You know, I make some of my mixes from time to time. And I think it's a way of actually putting more of your personality within your performance because you're literally mapping out your whole song. And it makes it easier for you to be sillier, a little more, to put a little more of your personality in there. Now, if you ever need help, if you ever need a mix made for you, or if you ever just want someone to show you how to do it, hit me up, bitch. I'm more than happy to teach you.
I will definitely have to do that because that's something I want to learn how to do. And it's like every time I've like tried to like I've tried to use YouTube, does not help.
Well, sometimes YouTube has some great mixes out there, but I've found out with like Googling through or looking through YouTube's archives, a lot of the mixes they have is very techno-y, which means it's very instrumental at certain times, which makes it hard to perform to.
Oh, absolutely. Like I have one mix that like Stephanie, shout out to Stephanie, a Mercury Experience.
Yes,
She I do a
love
mix.
her.
I do a mix that is it's literally like hard dance mix, and I do that mix, and she literally gets her life every time I do it, even though by the end of it I can't breathe, I can't do anything because it's just that hard techno like dance beat to where it's like by the time you're done you're like, "Oh, I'm done for the rest of the night, not doing it anymore." So I usually save the last.
So, Crucifix, do you have any fun skills that you ever bring to stage besides just the standard dancing and lip syncing? It's one thing a lot of people don't know about me this day and age, but something I used to do earlier in my drag is like I would do yoga on a bed of nails in nothing but a two-piece and full drag just to do something different than your standard performance. Do you ever bring anything like that to the stage?
I bring a lot of my tricks and all that, like, because when I was a kid, I did gymnastics.
Ooh.
And so it's like, but
So you're
as time's
flexible.
gone on, yeah, I used to be flexible. I'm still a little flexible, not as much, but I used to bring a lot of that to it, being like, look, I can jump into the splits, I can death drop and slam my body and do these different things. And it's like, but as you get older, you lose some of it, and there's a few things I can't quite do, but we're working on it.
Oh my God, don't even mentioning getting older. Girl, honey, I am 36 years old, and in drag years, I feel like that makes me 136, which means if I do a death drop, I'm gonna fucking die, and you're gonna have to call an ambulance because, bitch, my body is not what it's like to, and I know you understand because the older you get, especially when you're an active performer, you're wearing your fucking body out. And you know, there's days I go to put on my body shapers and it's like, I don't want to.
Oh, like, girl, I broke my knee 3 years ago in a car accident, so I had to relearn everything the opposite. And so, like, I get it, and it's like, it's really hard. But you know what, girl? If you did a death drop, just have a sexy man to come carry you off.
You know, I think once it was at the Cottage Grove brunch that I was doing, and I decided I was going to do a twist and jump in the air and land in a split. And I did it, but it was the repercussions days after that I regret. I swear my groin has never been more sore. And believe me, I use my groin a lot.
Girl, I did a show at DC Slaughters, and I did a death drop, and I slammed my body so damn hard on that floor, I whacked my head, and my head bounced like a basketball off the back of that floor. And everybody saw it.
Oh my God, craziness. Now, Crucifix, we've learned that you are this fantastic drag king, and you've even mentioned that you kind of dabbled with drag as a drag queen for a small period of time. Have you ever considered maybe just bringing out a new drag queen character and playing with both sides of the spectrum?
You know, I've thought about it. I really have. I've thought about bringing Stephanie Marie Cummins out. Ooh. She went away. But I've thought about bringing that more drag queen character. I've thought about bringing her back because that was still part of my history, still part of my life. And I may look a lot better than she used to look, but I've thought about it, and it's like just playing with gender in general has just been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that you really do is play with gender and kind of re-educate what it is to be a certain gender. Like, you can still be a man, wear heels, wear a corset, and wear glitter and still be a man, and that doesn't change that. And I think that's fun. Something I would like to see you do, Crucifix, is something I've done in the past, where you actually do a gender swap on stage. I think you could pull that off flawlessly. Long ago in Portland, I think it was at the Funhouse Lounge, I did a performance for a show called Circus Church where I came out as a woman and I performed to Marilyn Manson's Sweet Dreams. And as the performance went on, pieces would fall off and my look went from very feminine to very masculine. And I think that's something I would really love to see you do.
And you know what? That may just happen once quarantine's over. That may just happen.
Yeah.
Got all this time to practice.
Why not? And you said you have been dabbling with boylesque, and honey, that would be something even fun. I've done it when I used to do burlesque shows. That was one of the routines I would do, and being able to make them think that they're going to get one thing and then it absolutely goes a different direction, it drives the crowd crazy. And it almost, I mean, I don't think a lot of them would admit this, but it turns them on because it gives them, they see this really beautiful feminine creature, then it turns into kind of this masculine creature, but it's also keeping a little bit of that feminism at the same time. So, I mean, I had straight men, like butch straight men, come up to me after the show, be like, I'm very secure with my heterosexuality, but you turned me on a bit. And I'm like, thank you. Sorry, did you like my redneck voice?
Girl, if I talk to my family back in Missouri, how do you think I sound?
Honey, I'm raised in Oregon. That's actually my real voice.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Crucifix, you've mentioned that you took some time to yourself and you went into retirement. Tell us a little more. You talked a little bit that some of the people putting you inside of a box and kind of telling you how you should act and how you should behave was part of why you went into retirement. Talk a little more, just why you went in retirement, and then what actually bit you and made you want to come out of retirement.
Okay. So when I went into retirement, I took the time to myself, and I really went in because, like I said before, people were like putting me into a box, and there was also like during the time of me dating people, like they didn't like it because like when I started doing this, it was like we had season 2 and 3 of Drag Race. So me saying, "Oh, I do drag and I'm a drag king," they were like, "Oh, you do that. You do drag. Don't really like that." And so I kind of just let people control me with it. And then, like, when I got into my car accident and I was like, I had to spend months on bed rest. And what really got me through it was I was watching like YouTube. I was watching drag performances. I was watching makeup tutorials, and I really just started to discover like my love and passion of like the whole transformation. And I was like, I told myself once I got back on my feet, things got back together, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a small little show. If this is what I really want to do, I'm coming back, and I'm coming back with a vengeance. And if not, then I did a show, I did it, and I'm done. But when I did the show, I was like, that fire inside of me got relit to like, I'm gonna do this, and if I decide to be with somebody and they decide that this is not gonna work for them, and I'm like, okay, well, then you can go kick rocks.
Well, with that said, if you don't mind me asking, in real life, do you have a partner at all?
I do.
And oh, go ahead, baby. You go ahead a little bit.
I do have a partner, and me and him used to be like, we were friends for a while, like a few years, and we actually went to the same high school. Oh. And he is like, he's just simply amazing. Like when I first took him, like he knew me before all this, but when I introduced him to this, I literally did a show, went down into the basement, left him upstairs, and was like, I'm gonna be single after this. I'm not gonna have no man after this. And he's not been exposed to the drag community, but he's been getting a little bit more and more, and he will tip every single queen. Like if they're not getting tipped, he's the first one to give them money. And he loves what I do. Like he'll tell me all the time, I love your performance, or I love that performance. And I'm like, you loved it because I was half naked.
Oh my. Now, with that said, Crucifix, does he ever get jealous seeing you on stage and getting so much attention from maybe other men or women touching you or showing you that special attention?
Well, when it comes to like other people touching me, consent is mandatory.
Damn
And
right.
if he's there, he usually is like, he likes to sit in the audience, and when he sees me go on stage and all like the guys and even girls check me out, he literally sits there, arms crossed, and he's just like, yeah, I get to take that. And he gets some like weird thrill out of it, like, oh, I get to take that home. That's mine.
I love that. That's so cute, though, and that really is adorable. Be like, you get to watch your boyfriend live his life on stage and make everyone in the room want him, and then you're sitting there and be like, yep, that's right. I'm gonna take him home, and I'm gonna sleep next to him, and no one else gets him. I love it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he's definitely that. And you know, he even doesn't know how to act. Like when other queens like flirt with him, they see him out with me, they'll like see him and they'll be like, oh, you're cute, or oh, you're hot. And he's hard to miss. He's 6'4".
Ooh.
So like literally he's a tall man, and they'll flirt with him and he's just like, he shrinks down to this big because he's like, thank you. And like
Aww. That's really adorable. I love that. And I really love that he supports you as a performer. The hardest job there is out there is not necessarily being the drag performer, but being the husband or the partner to a drag performer. And that's hard. You're always carrying the bags. You're dealing with us being out at long hours of the night. Sometimes you see us getting attention from all sorts of people. So again, it's a challenging position to be in, but if you actually accept it and you really support that, it makes you so valuable to us. And honey, if he loves you and treats you good, I just want to let you know, hold on to him, especially if he's fucking 6'4", because there are plenty of us that are ready to climb a tree.
You know, it's like he literally he supports me 150%, and I love him to death. And I'm so lucky to have him.
Well, I love that, bitch. And you know what? I think that's fierce and fabulous. And just let him know he better hold on to you, because there's a lot of us fierce queens that are ready to take you away.
Everyone would love a 6'4" construction worker.
Oh my God. Well, Crucifix, I kind of want to go more of a serious route that I feel like is important to us to talk about. And that's the fact that you are not just a drag king, but you are a born cis male performing as a drag king in the drag scene. Can you tell me about like how you were actually treated by fellow drag performers within that drag scene?
So with some of the performers, they understood, they get it, and they love it. But there are quite a few queens and kings and other performers that I still feel bullied and dismissed, like being told I'm just a boy in makeup. And over time I've grown a thick skin, but sometimes it just feels like I'm not being seen, and it's like I'm not being like, don't want to stay validated, because I know for me, I validate myself. But it's just still like I'm not feeling like I'm welcome in the dressing room or on the stage by not all but some. And it's usually people who don't understand.
Yeah, we need to really try as drag performers and as a community to not do that. Everyone who's watching, because he has every right to be on stage and to perform just like any of us in any way he wants. And if he wants to be a drag king, let him be a drag king. It's not our rights to put him in a box or tell him how to perform. Now, Crucifix, if you were able, like you said, sometimes it's hard for your voice to be heard and it's hard for you to be taken serious. Now, you are on a platform right now where you have a very free voice, and that people who are forced to kind of watch, who may not listen to you normally, is there maybe a message you would like to say to the people who've maybe ever underestimated you or ever treated you a certain way?
Yes, and it would be, I would like to say that, I have a lot of love and respect for everyone who does this. This is not easy, but I, like, I am part of this. It's like, yes, I am a cis gay man, but that doesn't make me less than anyone. And I'm the sweetest person. If you don't understand what I do, just talk to me. Like, ask me and I will tell you. But
Absolutely.
don't dismiss me, because I am a force. And this is something I love and I'm passionate about, and you can't take that from me.
No, and again, I think that message is very strong, Crucifix, and I definitely think you belong in our community. I think that what you bring is very beautiful, and honestly, I remember the first time you came to stage, and I may have not at first completely understood it, but like you said, I talked to you a little bit. I got to know the character that you are, and bitch, I love you. I fucking adore you. And like I said earlier, you can almost, well, not quite as perform as good as me, but you can dance circles around me for sure.
Well, it's like I've always enjoyed working with you, even though it's been a few times. It's been like you were one of the first, like, that was really welcoming to me being there and me being my first time actually working with you. And I was like, I'm normally like used to like some of these queens that have been doing this longer than me to just just
Yeah,
ignore me, not really pay me any mind.
we shouldn't do that. And, we as a drag community, we look towards one another to uplift each other and feel good. And, it takes, for what to me, there's no one else who's going to understand what you're going through than someone who does the same thing that you do. And when I saw you backstage and you explained what you do and you told me the art of what you do, it's not my part to question that or to be like, well, you don't belong here. I think it's fabulous and you're doing something we can't do. So for all those bitches who want to get cunty or shady or tell him that he doesn't belong within the community, just listen to this little message and take it deep within your heart. Go fuck yourself. Just saying. Just saying. And Crucifix is over there like, yes!
Point made.
Well, honey, you mentioned a lot of them do underestimate you. Is there something like, why don't you talk? I do want you to talk a bit about that. Like, tell me some of the things that how you are treated backstage, how you're treated by maybe either fellow kings, because I feel like that might be even a struggle because you have people who are known for either being a cis woman dressing as a male, and you are a male dressing as a male. Tell me how you're kind of treated by fellow drag kings, if you don't mind.
So it's pretty much the same. Like, I get treated the same by some drag kings, and I've worked with a few. I've worked with quite a few, and I don't want to say every single one does it. Like, but the ones who just don't understand, like, I'll be in the dressing room and I just get the energy and the vibe. It's just like I've not felt wanted. Like, I'm like that exclusion of like, oh, you're a drag king, but your makeup says queen. And then it's like, it's that whole, like, when you have that relationship of working in the dressing room and working with people, and like every time I meet someone new, I get excited. Like, oh, I'm meeting someone new. I'm going to be seeing what they can do, and it's exposing me to more people. But they'll see me, and once I get called on stage, some of them like will be like dismissing me. They see me perform and be like, "Holy shit!" Like, this is like part of the group, part of the tribe. But then there's some who are just like, "Nah, that's a queen. It's not a king."
Well,
And it's like I don't feel accepted, part of the group, part of like the cast of the community, basically.
I'm sorry that that is what happens to you, especially from fellow kings, who are those of the people who should be uplifting you and really supporting you in the community. Now, if you don't mind, why don't you actually, let's take it the opposite side of the spectrum. Why don't you actually tell me some drag kings that you enjoy working with and you look up to?
Okay. So one of them is Keith Aria.
Oh,
Like,
yes! I love him, and he's so handsome.
I swear, he's such a good friend, and he's very, like, he gives me a reality check. If I'm feeling down, he's one of those people I can call to be like, bitch, you are amazing, you are fabulous, don't let people take you down, if I need that reality check. And another one is Miles Long.
Oh, I love Miles.
Miles was like one of the, like, not ever like working with Miles for, like, the first time I ever worked with Miles is during Heartbreakers down in Portland, and one of the very first kings to actually, like, I've never worked with before, come up and, like, make me feel like I'm wanted, and being like, you do an amazing job. And then, like, getting to work with Miles down in Eugene, that's been great. And there's like several kings in Portland that I look up to, like Chance de Belmont, Ty Van Helsing. There's so many that I like look up to that are just great people and always nice, always friendly with me. And I look forward to, after quarantine's over, to like work with and see what we all bring after this is done.
Absolutely. In fact, with that said, Hanson, have you ever worked in a strictly drag king only drag show before?
I have. I did this year was the first year I ever done it, and it's the show Heartbreakers at Kelly's Olympian. We were gonna just do it, like, just to do it, and after we were done, the venue asked us to come back and do the show again, and we had the show was amazing. We had a huge turnout, like the place was packed, and a lot of people came because there's not a lot of king only shows.
Right.
And so it was like giving us like our platform to show what we do and not have to compete with other queens.
Would you work with other kings in like a boy band performance like aspect? Because I have been dying to go to a drag king show and see like a group of kings give me like a boy band realness. I mean, like, I need that.
I would do it if I was asked. I would do it in a heartbeat.
Oh my God, yes. Like, I see a young, God, what is his name? Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys. I see a young Nick Carter.
Before the drugs. Aaron Carter before the drugs.
Ooh, yeah. Actually, I think Aaron Carter is pretty hot even after he got off the drugs. So, but again, I'm from Oregon. I have poor taste in men.
Don't we all?
Well, honey, one thing that you mentioned is you started a while back, started performing. Why don't you tell me actually how Crucifix has evolved from when he first started performing to who he is now?
Ooh. From when I first started, I didn't show skin at all. Like, I was completely covered.
Really?
I would do crazy like makeup looks, but then I did predominantly, like, I didn't know how to do the mixes or even where to get mixes. So I just did like stuff off of my iTunes. And sometimes it was a woman's song, sometimes it was a boy's. I just did what I wanted to do. But now I show a lot more skin.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really take the time to actually like put on a show and not just be like, I'm just gonna wing it every single time. Like, I literally learn my words. I listen to songs for months. I get to the point where I don't ever want to hear them again.
Right.
But I've made this evolved, because the drag is always evolving. And so it's like I've had to come with the changes and be like, you know what? We're not going to use grease paint anymore. We're going to actually learn our bone structure. We're going to learn our face. It's like we're going to be able to do this on our own and not have someone else do it.
And it's easy to do once you actually get your hands on it and keep practicing, and it just keeps evolving. And looking at you now, I love your skills. I mean, you're able to do things to your eyes and put, I mean, you're actually able to do the highlight properly. And bitch, I can't do highlight. I put on highlighter and I feel like you see every crack and wrinkle on my face.
Well, that's why you always get a pore filling primer.
Oh, yep. Well, I do, and I use it, but honey, I'm old.
Girl, you don't look that old.
Well,
you could just be like, you could be like me. People ask me how old I am. I literally tell them I'm over 1,000 years old. I'm a vampire.
well, honey, it's that blood of the innocent. It just really keeps your skin really tight.
Absolutely.
So, speaking of, why don't you actually tell us a little bit, one of the biggest transformations you have done with your character to date?
Ooh. Biggest transformation.
Or one that you plan on doing if you haven't done it yet.
I actually I have both. Like the biggest transformation I've done would have to be I did my diamond skull makeup, which that took about 5.5 hours of me doing, because I literally had to glue everything. And
Wait, because that picture with the diamond skulls, wait, that was not a mask?
no, that was not a mask.
Bitch! Really? Oh, honey, wow. I mean, to this moment, right now, using those photos for promotions for Bitch Talk, I thought that was a mask. You actually glued all that on your fucking face?
I literally drew everything on and then individually went to the craft store. Here's a little hack for everybody. Don't buy the cosmetic gemstones. Go to the craft store, get the ones with adhesive backs, and then you could use lash glue, spirit gum, and stick them on, or even just stick them on, and they're there. But I literally took stones and glued them in strips down my face, and I literally got to half of my face and was like, why am I doing this? And just was like, well, I've got to the point of no return. We got to keep going. So I literally did it, and I could not make a single facial expression at all. Everyone thought it was a mask, and I'm like, it's not a mask. Like, I can barely move my mouth because of how much it was just on there. And it took me half hours to do, and took me about 30 minutes to peel off.
How many stones do you think?
Oh, God, I would have to say over 1,000.
Honey, now that
I would have been more if I didn't cut corners, but I was like, I'm not putting spirit gum around my eyes. No, ma'am.
But that's still really fucking impressive, Crucifix. I mean, like I said, I had no idea that was actually all glued to your face. I thought it was a mask. So to hear that that was a transformation that you did yourself, I mean, bitch, fucking bravo the fuck oh, because that's not something I can do.
And I did it for just a costume. I did it for a costume contest, and I didn't win. I came in 4th place, but I was just like,
no, that's bullshit. You should have won.
When I was there, I was very professional. I mean, I was just happy to be included. But then on the drive home, I called my best friend up, and I was like, this bitch.
I love it. Oh my God, that's something I would do too. Be like, can you believe I fucking didn't win? I just did this, this, and this. But I mean, that's really fantastic. Now, what's one that you are hoping to do, Crucifix?
What I'm hoping to do is, I don't want to give too much of the details, but something that is going to be complete and utter transformation. Maybe something from the Avatar world. Who knows?
Okay, that's definitely intriguing.
Prosthetics.
What was it you said?
Probably involving some more prosthetics, to where it's like it's not just glued to my face, but it's actually fully transforming my face.
Okay, I'm excited. I really cannot wait to see what you have up your sleeve and what you're planning. I think you can do some amazing things. I would definitely love to see you as like a demon, with horns like growing out of your skull and having like a perfect six pack. And I mean, girl, there's so many possibilities that I could see you doing on stage with your looks. Now, you are a fantastic performer, Crucifix. You've done a lot of things. You are involved with a lot of shows. Have you actually ever considered running for any male titles, such in within pageants or with maybe the court system?
You know, when I first started, I was very anti-pageants. It was like people were telling me like, "Oh, you should do it," and I'm just like, not my thing. Like, I really don't think I need a shiny hat. But as like I've evolved and I've come into now, I really have been strongly considering it because I want to have a platform and then also give back to my community.
Okay. Why don't you actually tell me a little bit about what does community work mean to you as a drag performer?
I want, like, for me, I want to like give back to my community. That where I started, like I started at an all-age nightclub. We do not have that anymore. We don't have these younger kids that want to do drag. They don't have anywhere to perform other than their bedroom.
That's true.
And to show them like you don't have to be pigeon-toed and be put into a box of like you have to be a drag queen or a drag king. You can't be in that gray area. And I really just want to like give back to my community and try to help the community, because being an outsider and like seeing like what's going on like behind the scenes, it's like things need to change. There needs to be a change, and especially in the way we're living now. Right. And with who we have in office.
Oh,
it's like
no,
it's like
I hear you. There's a monster in the White House and we need to get them out.
Absolutely, especially with the way they're dealing with shit now. No, ma'am.
Can you believe that fucking maniac? And I'm sorry for anyone who's watching who supports him. I'm really sorry if you support him. He's telling people to fucking inject like sanitizer into their body and let like UV light into their side of their body. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Are you fucking, I mean, don't even get me on the subject of Trump because I will just go off for hours. I mean it.
Like, you know what? I'm sorry for anyone who does support that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to say this. You want to inject that stuff into your body? You want to go out and protest these stay-at-home orders? Guess what? World works in mysterious ways. And guess what? Natural selection.
Absolutely. And all I'm going to say with that said is, Trump, if you really feel like injecting hand sanitizer into your body is going to cure the coronavirus or help fight the virus, why don't you lead with example? We'd really love to see you do that to make sure that it works. And as the president, I just feel like it's your royal duty. So go ahead and just inject that right into your body. Just right now. Do it. Do it. Do it. Okay.
I completely 100% support this message.
As Bitch Talk with Bitchcock gets canceled. Well, honey, you are fantastic, and I'm having so much fun so far. Tell me about some of the shows that you may be involved with that you actually are maybe house cast or you perform with.
So, I am part of Glitter Girls. I am their first glitter boy.
Ooh, yes.
That is hosted by Miss Stephanie A. Mercury Experience and Victoria DuPont, and occasionally Nikki Entourage Aria.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Entourage, my bad. I'm sorry. There's no Aria at the end of that.
Nope.
The other one I am part of is the show Phenomenon at Spectrum. I
Oh,
am part
I
of
think
the
I've heard
cast
of it.
of that.
I think
Have you
I've
heard?
heard of that show. You know, it's a little show here in Eugene that, oh, that's right. I'm part of the cast too. I'm actually your MC and host.
100% and one of the best.
Oh, thank you.
And then the third show I have is still fairly new. It's still fairly green. It's in Hillsboro, Oregon, and it's at the How How, and it's Hillsboro's a Drag.
I love that.
With Miss Devlin Lynn Phoenix and Sophia Valdez and DJ Nikki Entourage.
Wait, she's a DJ now?
Yeah, she's a DJ.
Gosh, that bitch has never stopped surprising me. Get it, Ms. Nikki. I love it, honey.
She's one of the best DJs.
Okay, good. I can't wait to hire her for an event. And you know, I love having a variety of shows, Crucifix, and I think it gives you the option to do different things. And you know, I love having you in Phenomenon because we have all these. I feel like Phenomenon in Eugene is a very diverse show. We have our drag queens, we have trans performers, we have drag kings, we have cis male drag kings. I mean, we have such a variety, and I think even sometimes we even have gender fluid performers, which really makes it feel like a safe space, at least to me. Because when you're backstage, even if there are 14 fucking people backstage, it sometimes feels like a safe space because you know that there's a mixture of performers back there with you. And that's one thing I love so much about Phenomenon is I'm grateful that Calliope and Stephanie A. Mercury Experience DuPont were able to kind of bring that from, I think it was the Washington and Portland area, and actually bring that down to Eugene, because it's something that I've been very grateful for, because you get a mixture of performers that isn't just from the Eugene area. You get people from Eugene, you get people from Portland, and we have some fabulous, lovely people from Washington, such as yourself and Stephanie A. Mercury Experience DuPont.
And you know what? The past few Phenomenon shows, me and Stephanie have driven together down to the show, and that's always entertaining. Is this bitch?
That's
She
a
will
pre-show.
all the cars driving, and I'm like, I can't do that. I cannot paint while in a moving vehicle.
Yes. Now, as we mentioned, we are in the Cash Show Phenomenon together out in Eugene. Why don't you, trying to read my writing through my eyelashes. Isn't it fun when you just lose your space? So, okay, girl, what is your favorite thing about performing at Phenomenon, especially coming all the way from Washington? Like, do you really enjoy coming out there and just hanging with a diverse group, or is it different than what you have at home?
It's different because like a lot of the people that I perform with here, like I perform in Portland with, I've performed with them several times, and I see them all the time. So when I came to Eugene, I didn't know how, being never performing in Eugene before, I was like, I don't know how the crowd's gonna be. I don't know how I'm gonna interact with these other queens. And literally, I did my first number and I felt like nothing but support. Like the crowd was loving it. I got to meet you. I got to meet several other performers that are part of Phenomenon that made me feel welcome. Like I was wanted to be there, even though they've never met me before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I didn't feel like I had to explain what I do and to anyone.
Oh, honey, I'm so happy that Eugene and Phenomenon was able to provide that safe space for you, because especially any show that I'm part of, I hope that people all feel welcome and don't ever doubt why they're there, because we're all put in these shows for a reason, because we have our own talents. And I think definitely you're a very talented person. And I would hope I'm hoping soon you get to a point where you no longer doubt yourself because, bitch, I think you do know deep inside that you're fabulous and fierce, but sometimes you let some of these bitches' voices get in your head. All I would have to say is fuck those bitches and just listen to the one voice that's the most important. That's your own.
And you know what? You're 100% right, because I do that. But, you know, there's times where, like, you know, that little voice just kind of gets to you.
Oh,
And I'm there.
We can be our own worst enemies, and we're the first to criticize ourselves, especially when we're on stage and you're like, well, I did that wrong, or I missed that line, but you know, a lot of the times the audience doesn't even read it or see it, so we're the only ones that really notice that those things happen.
Absolutely. Like, we're our own worst critics because we know what's going on. And it's like, we know, even though we probably illusionized where our screw up, but we still know we screwed up.
That's
and it's
true.
like, they may not have seen it, but we still know we did it.
And that's absolutely fucking true. Now, Crucifix, speaking of, as I was actually trying to say earlier, is one thing I love so much is I do get to MC Phenomenon, and being a host at a show, one of the greatest things you get to do is actually sit down and you kind of get a chance to actually watch the show and watch a lot of the other performers. I think you do some of the most exciting things on stage. You definitely have some fun moves, you do some tricks, you definitely bring some sexuality to the stage. Why don't you tell me a little bit what's going through your mind when you're actually performing?
Knowing my words. Like, knowing my words, not to hurt myself. Granted, even though it's like, you know, you hurt yourself, if you're hurting, you're doing it right. My goal is when I'm doing my tricks is not to hurt myself, and at least do it once or twice. But I also go through my mind of like, I go off of how the crowds react. It's like,
okay.
Like, if I know they're not feeling it, then I go 10 times harder. But if I know they're like really having it, living for every second, then it's like, okay, well, we're gonna bust something else out, something you're not expecting me to do. And usually that's a tourist stunt or two, or me going into the crowd. But it's just that whole going through my mind process of just, you know, basing it off of how they're reacting to me on stage.
Absolutely. And it's all about the crowd reacting. This is why we, as MCs or hosts, we tell the crowd that their screams and their laughter and their cheers are just as important than tipping us dollar bills, because that feeds us as performers. It allows us to feel our energy a little more. It allows us to feel more confident when we're on stage. So I definitely understand what you're saying. Now, I'm going to take a brief moment, Mr. Crucifix, just to say to the people out there, if you're enjoying Bitch Talk with Bitchcock and you're really loving this episode, please look into the description of the video. We have Mr. Crucifix Magnetic's Cash App information there. If you really would just like to tip him a little something extra just for spilling all the tea and being vulnerable and sharing all this information during this interview, please do. It's very much hard times this day and age, and anything you can do for our performers is definitely welcomed. So with that said, I do want to move on with the interview. Crucifix, we only have a few more questions, and then we're going to actually say our goodbyes and play a little game. But I do definitely have a few more things I'd like to ask you. One thing I've always been kind of curious is, do you ever work or ever kind of do impersonations, like celebrity impersonations, character impersonations, maybe even cosplay?
I do a little bit of cosplay. I do have a Lucian mix from Underworld that I really enjoy doing, and it's something I keep in my back pocket in my wheelhouse. But as like celebrity wise, it's something I really want to do, but I'm not just good at it. I'm just
Okay.
But like I want to do, gosh, he played Kurt Hummel on Glee. I'm trying to remember,
Oh,
trying to
I
play,
love it.
trying to remember his name. Like, I know his name. oh gosh. But I've thought about him or like Adam Lambert.
Okay. That's great. So like if you were to do a Snatch Game character for a male impersonation, you would either consider those two. I think you even mentioned in the pre-interview you would even consider Ryan Reynolds.
That too.
Okay. Well, I think
I
that's
love
lovely. One thing
Ryan
I
Reynolds
told you.
for me, like Ryan Reynolds, like Deadpool.
Oh, yes. I love that. One thing I actually told you is we were doing the pre-interview yesterday. I saw you kind of behind the drag and behind the fabulousness. And I was like, bitch, who you remind me of? And you're like, who? And I'm like, you remind me of a porn star. And you give me a dirty look like, a porn star? And I'm like, you do. You remind me of this bisexual porn star I've been watching since like my mid-20s. And you're like, huh? But you do. If you're ever watching out there and you like a little adult entertainment, look up the one and only Wolf Hudson. He is a very handsome porn performer, and honey, I'm telling you, you could do him. Ooh, ooh.
Ooh. Like when you told me that, I was like, I need to know who this person is. And then when it's like you actually like saw a picture, I was just like, I could see it. I could see it.
Uh-huh, yes. And it's easy to do an impersonation of a porn star. Just take off all your clothes. I mean it. Do it right now.
That is, it is very easy to impersonate a porn star. Just get naked.
So you are a fantastic performer and you do some amazing things on stage. Have you ever considered doing a collaboration with another performer, or maybe even do a duet with a drag queen?
I've actually thought about it quite a bit. Like I really do want to do one with Keith Entourage Aria. Also, I'm going to be doing one with Calliope Carmichaels, who is my drag wife. And there's just so many other queens that I would love to do a duet with, or even like a group.
Okay, I better be one of those goddamn drag queens because I'm looking at you right now, bitch, and I want to do a duet.
Of course, you're one of them.
Well, damn right, girl. We could work something else fabulous. So we are close to the end of our interview. We only have a couple more questions. How has your journey in drag actually helped your confidence in everyday life?
In everyday life, it's taken my confidence level from like a 4 to like a full-blown 10, because crucifix has helped me with my confidence because it's taught me to not take people's opinions too seriously. The only opinions that matter are my own. And so when I'm like in my everyday life, I wear whatever I want. I don't care if people like it or not. And it's really boosted my confidence and made me more like comfortable in my own skin, where I'm like not trying to hide as much.
Okay. I love that. And I think that's something that we're all going to learn. And I know I've been doing drag 15 years, crucifix, and I still struggle with those days when I'm not in drag, sometimes feeling confident, especially with bullshit like this happening where we're not able to be out in public. We're not able to be in bars. We're very limited how often we can do drag. It can be very defeating at times, especially when we don't have those outlets. So, that's one reason I feel like shows like this, like Bitch Talk, is important, because it allows me to also get in drag and feel good about myself, but it also allows me the platform to uplift my fellow performers who are also dealing with the same thing. I mean, when we're all dealing with a gigantic mental hit with everything that's going on in the world, and losing all of our gigs, losing the opportunity to do drag, because to most of us, I don't know about you, but at least for me, drag is such a high like mental experience for me. I get out a lot of my depression, I get out my anger, I get everything out while doing my art of drag. And without my art, sometimes it can leave me a little vulnerable.
And like I do understand that. Like it's definitely helped with my depression. Like, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I'm a high risk for depression. And, you know, it's helped like a lot. But during this crazy time, I do like, I look forward to Bitch Talk with Bitchcock because it's like, it helps me get through my day, and I get to see and get to know more people that I've worked with or don't really know. And it's like, it's also sucks because it's like, I lost all my gigs. That was my income. And it was like that, I took that blow, and then it's just like, like not being able to leave the house just to clear your mind. And so I've just been like playing with my makeup, like giving myself a challenge. I mean, like, you know what? We need to be creative, get some of this, everything out of your brain.
Absolutely. And honey, I mean, even if it's a day where you put on your makeup, you get in drag and just do a photo shoot, that's good for your mental well-being. And it gives you publicity shots for when the shows open back up that are fresh and they have a new look for everyone. So, I mean, just keep staying on the bright side of life. Whenever you're having a hard day, just put on some makeup and glitter. And I can guarantee anytime you put glitter on your face, you're going to feel better about yourself.
That is for sure.
Now,
And
oh, go ahead, baby.
I was gonna say, and heck, you know it. If you have any other friends who like to play with makeup, or any queen friends, you know what? FaceTime them and y'all play with your makeup together.
Oh, yes. Play with your thingies together. I love it. It's like a circle jerk, but with makeup. Well, Crucifix, why don't you tell us what we are to expect next from Crucifix when the bars open back up and we're allowed to actually perform again?
Ooh, your Crucifix is definitely going to be bringing the drama on stage. Not normal drama, like actual drama on stage, like some actual like powerful, strong numbers.
Okay.
You may or may not be seeing Crucifix with the shiny hat.
Oh, I love shiny hats. Yes, that's a good little hint right there. Like any specific shiny hat that we're looking for, or are we just gonna keep it a mystery?
We'll keep it a mystery for now.
Oh, yes. I love it. Now, honey, as we mentioned, we are in a show together. We have been casted in Phenomenon, and I love working with you, but do you have any crazy or fun stories working with Maliena Bitchcock that you want to spill the tea with everyone watching?
Oh, this is not shady, but bitch. Like, the first time I met you, the first show I ever worked with you at, was in December. And you did something that I've not ever seen. And that was, you did a full makeup costume transformation from Maliena into Krampus. And I was like, I could never. It takes me too long. I'm like, this bitch, you full on changed characters in a short period of time. Like, oh,
It was interesting, especially if I was remembering, I was hosting the show, so I literally had like 3 minutes to do the full transformation, but you literally have to change makeup, you have to change hair, going into Krampus, it was definitely a hard experience because the first number was something very feminine, very pretty, and then to do the second number and go for this kind of more hard makeup, and literally I'm backstage throwing black eyeshadow over my already colorful eyeshadow, throwing black lipstick over my lips. But no, I appreciate it, honey, because when I put on a show and I'm doing my performances, I definitely want to do what's best for the audience and what they're going to love. And I have to tell you, Krampus was something I've been wanting to bring for the audience for years. And to be able to live that moment and to actually bring that to life, oh my God, it warms my shriveled, cold little heart.
I lived for it. I'm like, okay, this one she professional. She can fully transform.
Yeah.
Like, in a short period of time. Like,
Yeah. Bitch, don't underestimate the bitch cock. She will do circles around you, and she's not afraid to do it either. Now, speaking of bitch cock, Mr. Crucifix, how did you enjoy your experience on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock?
oh, I absolutely loved it. Like, this is a production. Like, you put so much work into this. You're extremely professional. And, it's just like really comfortable because it's like getting to know you, like we're just hanging out.
And that's I think the key with Bitch Talk is we're having just a good old fashioned kiki between two performers. We're spilling the tea. We're getting to know each other, and it's also a chance to let the audience see a different side of both of us. I mean, of course, my main goal every episode is to feature and uplift you as a performer, but I mean, it would be dumb of me to be featured on a show like this and not want to show my versatility and my different sides also. That's why every single show that I try to give you a complete different drag look. And even during quarantine, I'm pushing myself because this is the time to find yourself, evolve, and, kind of grow. And I really love Bitch Talk for that because it's given me an opportunity to also learn from other people. Like, I have been able to have such an honor to interview a range of so many different performers and hear so many different stories that it's been very inspirational for me. And it really makes me happy to be able to do this platform because, again, we're all trapped at home. It's easy to get depressed. It's nice to have something 3 times a week that you can turn on, lose yourself, and just focus on that for an hour, maybe 2 hours.
And you know what? Even like if you're like you even fall behind on episodes, like people watching, if you fall behind on episodes, you can you don't have to sit and watch. You could literally have it playing and have it be in the background.
Oh my God, absolutely. I tell all the time. In fact, I did that this morning. I turned on an episode and I just listened to it as a podcast. And honestly, it's very entertaining to do it like that because you can literally do housework, do your dishes, paint the walls, and literally be entertained by it at the same time, especially if every now and then just peek at the screen and you see the silliness that is us, which I love because, you get to see all us in full character spilling all the tea. So it's just such a great opportunity. And I'm really happy that you came on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock and really show a different side to drag and show them that everyone's welcome here, bitch.
Well, I am so grateful for you to have me. You ever want me to come back? I will gladly come back.
Yeah. I don't know. I have had so many offers of you queens and kings and performers. Like, I've been on your show. Now, when are you going to have me back? Bitch, I don't know what I'm going to do for a second time. We'll have to see what happens with Bitch Talk and what happens. But I definitely love you, and I definitely want to work with you more. This is some backstage production tea that I shouldn't be spilling, but I'm going to. I might be even working on a little virtual production. I won't say too much, but I want to do something that's not a drag show, that is a drag show, and it's going to be virtual. And the closest thing I can say is it's not going to be exactly this, but Snatch Game. I want to bring maybe like a virtual Snatch Game kind of thing to the internet. And that might be something that you might see next from me, depending on how longer quarantine happens. But keep your eyes open, boys and girls, because some exciting things are about to happen. Yeah. So, with that said, you survived all the questions I had for you, Mr. Crucifix, and I'm so happy to have you here on Bitch Talk. If you enjoyed this interview of Bitch Talk with Bitchcock with the one and only Crucifix Magnetic, please look in the description where you can find his Cash App information to tip him a little something extra. Now, with that said, I hope you tune into our next episode on April 29th as I interview the one and only Roxy Diamond. Me and this queen are going to spill all the tea and really get into it. Now, with that said, Crucifix, do you want to play a little game, little boy?
Bring it on.
Fantastic, bitch. Let's get this going. I figured we'll play a little game to actually start and get you lubed up. So if you have some alcohol nearby, why don't you get that primed? We're going to play a Bitch Talk with Bitchcock favorite called Truth or Drink.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Yeah,
I got my wine ready.
fantastic. Now, how this will work is I will ask you a series of shady questions, and you will have the option to either answer the question truthfully or take a shot. You ready for it, bitch? Yes. Okay. For number one crucifix, who is the most annoying performer you have ever worked with?
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Mm, mm, mm. The tea's getting real.
I'm going to drink.
Oh, you're gonna drink. Take that shot, honey. Enjoy it. Savor it. Okay. Okay, so you chose to drink for the first question. I love it. For number two, have you ever had sex or hooked up with someone in drag or at a drag show?
Okay, I'm going to take a drink. I'm going to answer it, but I'm going to take a drink to even get to this.
Get your confidence.
Okay. So I've never really had full-on sex and drag, but I did. It almost happened in still in full face.
Ooh.
So I went to my boyfriend's house after a show, dropped a few of the girls off, and I was like, okay, gonna like. I got there and I got there super late. He was already a little buzzed, and he was like, oh, let's get all snuggly and cuddly. And I'm like, well, I need to go like take off my face. We need to put the gremlin back in the suitcase. And he was like, nope. And I was like, nope. So it was like a little makeout session into I need to take this off.
Oh my God, the tea is real. I love it. Oh my God. You know, I try to do that with my boyfriend. I'll get home. It's like 3 a.m. My face is smeared. I'm a little drunk half the time. I'm like, you're kind of pretty. What are you doing? Come here. Kiss me. No. And he hates it. He's like, get your drunk ass away from me.
Mine is like, did we put the crucifix away?
Yeah, you know, you don't want to dabble the drag character in your boyfriend. It just gets complicated. So for number three, what is one of the worst road trips you've ever traveled to come to a drag show?
Oh, I want to drink.
Oh, she's gonna take a drink on that one, girl. Don't want to get herself fired from any casts.
Nope, not.
Oh, the tea is real. I love it. Okay, for your last question of truth or drink, if you had the ability to kai with another fellow performer, who would you do it with?
Okay, liquid confidence. Heath Entourage Aria.
Well, who wouldn't? That man is gorgeous.
Mine and his conversations. He like literally he flirts a lot.
Bitch, he even flirts with me. I mean, you can see some of our conversations. They're not always PC.
He flirts with me, but he knows about the boyfriend, and he's just like, why do you have to be single? Why can't you be single?
I know. He said the same thing to me. I have threatened him because he has such a sexy, manly, furry chest. I told him one of these days I'm going to lather his chest up with coconut oil and wipe my face off with it.
Make sure you get it on tape.
Shade of it all. Well, honey, you survived Truth or Drink, but we do have one more game before we say our goodbyes. This is another Bitch Talk with Bitchcock favorite that we call Marry, Kai Kai, or Cancel. Are you ready for it?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Perfect, bitch. How this will work is I'm going to name 3 names of people you may work with, perform with, or maybe even hate. And you're going to tell us if you would marry them, kai them, or cancel their shows completely. So we're going to start with round 1, and that is the Drag King round. So we have Vicious Boulevard. So Timmy LaVicious Boulevard, Craven Valentine, and Keith Entourage Aria.
Oh, goodness. Oh. I would marry Keith.
See, I thought you were going to kai him.
Well, we're friends, so it's like I'll marry Keith. I would kai Timmy, and I would cancel Craven.
You just canceled Craven Valentine!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, with that said, Craven Valentine, if you are watching this episode of Bitch Talk with Bitchcock and want to come on a future episode to rebuttal this, please hit me up because, for 1, I would love to have you on the show, and 2, I'd love to spill a little tea, bitch. Okay, perfect. Well, you survived number 1. For number 2, we have Sophia Valadez, Jacqueline St. Clair, and Uranus the Fool.
Oh, God, it's hard.
It's always hard. I have that effect on men.
So, you know what? For this one, no. You need.
She needs a whole bottle for that one.
Okay. I would marry Sophia. I would kai Jacqueline and cancel Uranus.
Okay. I mean, that's about what I would do too. I mean, but Uranus is used to getting canceled by now.
I'm sure.
I love you. Just gonna kick my ass. I'm gonna get hate mailed this evening. Be like, "Fuck you, bitchcock." Well, she's too pretty. You know, there's too many pretty queens on the scene. Some of those pretty girls need to get canceled and leave room for us.
You know what? I see these pretty queens and I'm like, God, she's pretty. I fucking hate her.
Well, you know, I'm just like, well, she could be the pretty one. I'll be the interesting one. So, perfect. Okay, well, you survived number 2. For number 3, we're going to bring some of your phenomenon sisters to the room, starting with Stephanie A. Mercury Experience DuPont, Miss Calliope, the producer of Phenomenon, and your one and only MC and host, Maliena Bitchcock.
Oh, my drag wife. And, oh. So,
I'm watching you, bitch.
I would marry Stephanie because I can't live my life without her.
Uh-huh.
I would kai you.
Yeah.
And I would cancel Calliope.
Oh my God, you're going to cancel the producer of our show?
The producer of the show and my drag wife. You know what? She's producing, so she good.
Well, I love it. You spilled the tea on that one. I'm so sad to hear that you will no longer be part of Phenomenon in the future. Okay, perfect. We have one last round of Marry, Kai, or Cancel. And we're going to call this the fire round. And the reason we're going to do that is we are going to have you pick between 3 phoenixes. So,
Oh, no.
yes, bitch, I'm evil. So, we have the one and only Devil Lynn Phoenix, Lexus Lynn Phoenix, and Angel Phoenix.
Oh, no, no.
I know, I'm an evil bitch.
Oh, God, the shade is real. It's so real. Okay. I really feel like if I answer this, I'm gonna die. I would marry Lexus. I would Kai Devlin, and I would cancel Angel Phoenix.
Oh my God, everyone's just canceling Angel Phoenix. Girl, I know you joke about being the canceled queen, but this is getting ridiculous. But the one thing with that said is, I know at least 2 of those girls are coming on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock, and I cannot wait to hear the rebuttal.
Oh, goodness.
Well, honey, Mr. Crucifix, you survived all our games, which means you survived Bitch Talk with Bitchcock.
Yay!
Oh my God, honey. Thank you so much for coming on the show and spilling all the tea. I have had so much fun just Kiki with you. Kai will be what happens after the show. Yes. Well,
Bitch Talk After Dark.
yes, Bitchcock After Dark. When there's no, oh my God, no Peacock After Dark anymore. I could be Bitchcock After Dark. Yes.
Yes.
A whole new experience. Well, for all of you watching, if you again have enjoyed this episode, I'm going to say it one last time. Please make sure to tip my special guest, Mr. Crucifix Magnetic. These are hard times, and even if you tip $1, it is appreciated. So please go to the description, find his his ass app, his Cash App, and tip him a little something extra. If you want to find his ass app and give him a little tip also, I'm sure he won't complain.
The boyfriend will already find that.
Well, again, everyone watching, please tune into the next episode of Bitch Talk with Bitchcock on April 29th as I interview the one and only Roxy Diamond. That is this Wednesday. Had to think of what day it is. Being in quarantine, it's easy to lose track. Roxy is going to spill so much tea. She is so eager to get on Bitch Talk. She has been almost messaging me every single day, just excited, and I'm so excited to have her on here. All of you watching, thank you for supporting Bitch Talk. This has been such a lovely experience getting to do this 3 times a week for all of you, and I really just love you all supporting and uplifting the community. To me, this is what drag is just featuring our talents, supporting one another, and having fun. So, Crucifix, thank you again for coming on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock, honey. I love you so much.
Thank you for having me. I love you so much. I can't wait to see you when quarantine is over.
Oh my God, honey. I am so titillated by that idea. So, again, I'll see you all this Wednesday for the next episode of Bitch Talk with Bitchcock. And in the meantime, I just want you to know I salute you. Have a safe and wonderful week, everyone. Mwah.